All right, Sawdust Startups community, Facebook Marketplace 101. If you guys don't remember, my name's Nick. I'm working with Matt as a partner. I'm sure you guys have talked to me already in the community. But yes, I've been selling things on Facebook Marketplace religiously for a little over 5 years now. So my brother actually makes a full-time living on Facebook Marketplace as well. So I did jump in and pick his brain and some of his pro tips as well. We've been doing this pretty religiously. He's been doing it for a couple years. I always sell a bunch of stuff on Facebook all the time, so I do know the ins and the outs. So let's dive into this. What we're going to cover. So we're going to cover things like the photos, how many photos you should post, your photos in general being the most important part. I know you've taken the module on product photos already, so you can definitely use all of that information into this as well. We're going to talk about the descriptions and titles and the importance of those. We're going to dive into pricing. We're going to dive into payment types, how to take payments, etc. We're going to talk about posting, when to post, how to post. We're going to talk about communication with people on Facebook because that is always interesting. If any of you guys have ever sold anything on Facebook Marketplace, you understand that. Then we're going to talk about product delivery, the different types, different ways you can deliver through Facebook Marketplace. And then I'm going to do, just for the people who have never uploaded anything on Facebook before, I'm going to dive in and do a little how to upload. I'm going to dive into Facebook itself and upload a product and show you guys the ins and the outs of that. So, photos. 3 to 9 photos is a good place to start, right? Too many is too distracting and too little is just not enough. 3 to 9 is a good happy spot. Now, remember, your first photo is the absolute most important part of everything. Now, I'm going to dive into that in a second, but on Facebook Marketplace, you can also upload videos, right? And in my previous experience, using videos on Facebook Marketplace, sometimes what it does is it'll use that video as the thumbnail, right? And when your video is the thumbnail, then whatever second of the video they choose, that's what's going to be like the picture. And that's not good because you want your best photo to be the thumbnail, right? And if it's just a janky, like chopped up image screen of part of the product because that's the video, right? Then that's not going to help you out. It's not going to do you any favors. You could try it out, see if it works, but I personally would not recommend a video of the product, right? So back to your first photo is the most important. Your first impression is absolutely everything. Think about scrolling on Facebook or on Facebook Marketplace. You are in a realm of thousands of people all selling similar products or selling anything, completely anything. People are on Facebook for so many different reasons. There's so many things you could do on Facebook. It's very distracting. Now, if your first photo is very eye-catching, very clean, high contrast, Matt's talked about this in the product photos, but that is so important, your very first photo, because that gets someone to jump onto the product itself and to learn more about it, right? So everything that you're going to be doing about Facebook Marketplace, your first photo is what's going to set the stage and set the tone. Now, along with that, don't make them guess what the product is, right? Matt's talked about staging and putting things, staging up the product, making it look like nice and in use while you're taking your photos, which is great, right? But if you overdo that and because people sell everything on Facebook, right? And they see that product and they can't tell exactly what it is before they even click on it, you already lost, right? So you want it to be a very, very clear photo. You want to know exactly what it is just by taking the photo. You want to know exactly what it is, high contrast, good image, high quality, and testing. Drill that into your brain. I do not care if you have to upload the same product 25 times, right? Try something different. If you upload and you have this photo and you do all your descriptions and all your stuff and you upload it and it doesn't perform well and you're not getting a lot of clicks on it, right? If you don't get a lot of clicks, that's your first indicator that your photo is not that great. So try new things, upload it 2-3 times at once with different photos and see what performs best, right? I'm going to use cutting boards for this entire example of Facebook Marketplace just because it's easy and a lot of people sell them. So I'm just going to use that as an example. But like if you put up a photo of your cutting board and it looks great to you, take a couple different more, right? And try each of them out, right? Because you're going to sell them. You're going to sell more than just that one in that photo anyway. So take a bunch of pictures and test each one out. Put this one first, then put this one first in a different post, then put this one first in a different post. And whichever one's working best, double down, right? You're going to test it out. This photo got, 6 clicks. This photo got 40. This one got 200, right? Use the one that works, right? This is a trial and error process. It's not going to work right away. You need to keep trying and keep testing. That is most important, and your photo is the most important part in what's going to make something sell. So moving on. Titles and descriptions. We're going to talk a little bit about SEO. For those who don't know what that is search engine optimization. So as I mentioned, you are in a pool of tons of different people on Facebook Marketplace. There are so many people out there selling certain things. People sell everything on Marketplace, right? So the way I like to put it is, if you were going to search for the product, what would you search, right? Whatever that is, write down as many keywords as possible, right? Make a list of them. For example, I put here like cutting board, end grain cutting board, charcuterie board, handmade, purple heart, chopping block, cheese board, engraved cutting board, steak board, cutting board oil, carving board, butcher block, etc. Just go down the line of whatever you're selling and whatever you think that someone would search and whatever possibly they would search for. Try and include as many of these keywords in your title or description as possible, and both, right? Because the way the marketplace works is when someone searches something, they're grabbing keywords from all the posts across the board, across everything. They search the entire thing and it organizes it by keywords, right? So if you have more keywords, you're going to get ranked for more searches, right? And the more people who click on it, the more people who message you, they boost it up, right? So while you're a small fish, right, you need to put as many keywords in there as possible so you have the most chances of being seen by a potential customer. So that is very important. Keywords are huge. Make sure to utilize them to the best of your ability and use as many as possible. Now, I wouldn't recommend just throwing them in at the bottom of your description. Try it out if you want, but I wouldn't necessarily recommend doing that. I would kind of filter them in. I'll get into that, but just kind of filter them in. So let's talk about the title, right? If you go on Facebook, you'll see a lot of people, they keep it very simple, and it doesn't necessarily help them, but it doesn't necessarily hurt them, right? Like, don't just put cutting board, right? Be a little more specific. Add some more keywords. Be broad and specific at the same time. I know that's a little confusing, but like rather than putting cutting board, I put some examples down here, like handmade edge grain cutting board, 12 inch by 18 by inch and a half. Like that is good. You don't necessarily have to put the inches right there, but that just helps, right? So think about keywords like handmade, end grain, cutting board, all in there. People search like handmade cutting board, that's going to come up. People search end grain cutting board, that's going to come up, right? Something like that. More examples, handmade edge grain, maple and walnut cutting board, right? If people are looking for specifics, some people know their wood species. Most people don't, but some people do. They're going to search for it up and it's going to be there. Now, my favorite is handcrafted, live edge, charcuterie board, cutting board, right? Just throwing in that little handcrafted, handmade. There's a lot of people who just sell old things that they have, right? So to differentiate yourself from those people and you put handcrafted or handmade or something like that, automatically they know that you're making them, right? For the most part, they'll know. But putting in live edge, charcuterie board, and cutting board, and then, in the title, if people search charcuterie board, it's going to come up. Or search cutting board, it's going to come up, right? Because that's the whole idea. It's the entire engine of Facebook Marketplace is built off of keywords, and that goes for Etsy as well, and all other marketplaces and every search engine on the planet. It's all about keywords, and that is the most important part. So be sure to take that into consideration when it comes to ranking. And all of this works in sequence, as you can probably imagine with the photos, right? So now let's talk about the description. Include a small summary, right? You got to the point where people are now clicking on your post. When they get there, you need to, I wouldn't say sell them, like hard sell, like that's no fun, right? People don't like to be hard sold to, but providing enough information to them in order to make a purchasing decision, right? So this is perfect because you can include keywords, you can include little selling points, and include what makes your product unique, right? Handmade is not unique, right? Think about how many people you know and on Instagram and wherever else that you see people making cutting boards, handmade, all over the place, everywhere. It's very popular, very thing. What makes your product unique? Think about that. Why would somebody want to buy your product, right? Think about that. Take a deep, hard thought, write it down, and think about it, right? A perfect example. I pulled all these examples from a couple Facebook posts that I saw that I really, really liked. So a unique hardwood cutting board provides a stable work surface and also helps protect knife blades. Constructed with the end grain gives this cutting board a professional quality to withstand years of use, right? He's got keywords in there, okay? We have hardwood, we have cutting board, right? We have end grain, right? He could have done better with the keywords, but he's selling at the same time, right? He's providing you the information to know that this is a good cutting board for you to have because it protects your knife blades, right? Professional quality. It's going to withstand years of use, right? Buy once, use it as long as you want, right? And that is a unique selling point, right? Because you're not selling cutting boards for $5, right? You're charging a hefty amount. And if you providing this information is giving them the knowledge to know that they're making an investment on this purchase and it's going to last them a long time, right? And this allows you to charge more as well. So this all works cohesively together, right? Another thing, be honest. Nobody likes to be bamboozled, okay? Whether that's, if you put, you're batching them out, you have this one photo, you're batching out cutting boards and you say, okay, it's going to take 3 days to be complete, right? And you know it's not going to take 3 days. Don't just tell them that because it sounds good, or don't put, the price is this and when the price is actually something else, right? Don't bamboozle them. Be completely honest. Nobody likes that, right? It's not fun, right? And be specific, okay? In your description, you have the opportunity to A, make some selling points, and B, provide them with enough information that they can make a purchasing decision. Tell them the size, okay? Tell them how long it's going to take for it to be on the front door, right? Tell them care instructions. That's beautiful. I saw one guy put care instructions in there. I was like, everybody needs to do this because they're providing so much information to them. They don't even have the cutting board, right? But now they know how to take care of it because people get worried about that, People are like, oh, I want a wooden cutting board, but it's like, oh, you got to take care of it and do all this stuff. He already told you, like enough information for them to make a purchasing decision. That is selling, okay? It's that simple. These are a couple good examples that I took from. So a couple key things to take away from each of these. On the left side here is what I put in the previous slide. A unique hardwood cutting board provides a stable work surface, also protects knife blades, constructed with end grain, gives it professional quality to withstand years of use, right? Crafted in the USA from, the species, red oak, maple, purple heart, mahogany, end grain construction, holds up to years of slicing and chopping. This meets high-level safety standards for professional kitchens, rubber feet are added to keep it stable, made by ACW Woodworks, right? Professional. It looks good, right? You go on there and it looks like this guy knows what he's talking about. Use, right? Use and care. Gives you exact step-by-step instructions. They didn't even buy it yet. And he's already giving them more value up front, right? Because if he's providing this much value up front, you can only imagine how much value they're going to get from the product themselves because he's giving them tools, and he's making it so easy for them to make this decision because he's giving them enough information, right? He's getting away of the fear of this cutting board's gonna be too hard to maintain. He's giving them the instructions on a silver platter before they even bought it, which is beautiful, right? Another great selling example, if you will, is this visually stunning cutting board will surely be the centerpiece of any kitchen. Perfect for serving charcuterie or cheeses, but the end grain design will also stand up to years of heavy use, right? He's throwing keywords in there, putting charcuterie in there, right? Cutting board, centerpiece of the kitchen. He's ingraining into the future customer's mind of what it would be like for them to have this cutting board on their kitchen, right? People love those little centerpiece things. He's putting it into their brain already where they see it, right? And now they're reading it. And as they read it, they're visually imagining the product in their kitchen being used. They're envisioning their friends coming over and seeing that product and being like, wow, that's a beautiful cutting board. Where'd you get that, right? That is perfect because he's giving them good information after, right? The board measures 18 by 12 thick, non-slip rubber feet, etc. He's providing all the information that they need to make a decision. He's giving them a vision of what it would look like and why they should have it in their kitchen because that's it, He's providing the information necessary, right? Which is perfect. Now, this one on the right, this guy did a great job of being really honest to his future potential customer. He did a great job of being honest, but I think where he lacked here is everything is one bulk message. Look at the left and look at how easy that is to read and comprehend, right? Because everything's spaced out well. He has bullet points. It's straightforward. It's to the point. On the right, it's one big bulk text, right? You want to make it really easy to read, right? You don't want to make it complicated at all. You want it to be as seamless as possible, which is very important. So moving on. Overall, your descriptions, you want to answer as many questions as possible. That is your goal. Think about it. When you're uploading this product, what questions would somebody who is not a woodworker, okay, they're not you, right? They don't understand why you need a certain dovetail in a certain location or why this is a certain way because of wood movement, and they don't understand that, right? They're regular people, right? Answer as many questions as possible, keeping it simple and sticking to the selling points, right? They don't care that this specific wood is better than this wood, right? If they see hardwood, they think, okay, that's good, right? Keep it simple and provide as much information as you can so that they can form the selling decision by themselves, right? That is essentially selling in its simplest form. Just providing the information. It's that simple. Keep it clean, good spacing, clean, easy to read sentences. And then if you do custom work, also mention that in your description, right? Mention that, let people know. It'll put it in the back of their brain if they buy something, especially. So that is very important for the descriptions and titles. That is the main thing I want to get across, is providing the information that they need to make a purchasing decision. You heard me say it a bunch of times. That is on purpose, right? So pricing. This is where things get pretty complicated because people on Facebook Marketplace are very casual, right? They're just regular people. And a lot of people on Marketplace are just selling things like vehicles or old items, right? So I know for me, when I'm on Facebook Marketplace and I see an item and it's listed for $100, I'm going to message them and I'm going to say, would you take it for $75? Right? Because a lot of people do that. People will bargain. So people will lowball you, and this is your decision how you want to combat this, really, because it's going to happen a lot, right? So if you're taking offers, let them know, right? If you have a cutting board listed for $200 and you know that you would take $180 for it, let them know you're taking offers, right? And just let them know. I wouldn't recommend doing this. I would really just not take offers. I would let them know that price is non-negotiable and just not take offers and have your price and set it and be professional. But if by any chance you want to take offers just off a whim, I would price it higher and people are going to offer you at the price you want. So, but I would definitely not recommend taking offers, just to be clear. I would not recommend it, but if you are, specify it, right? So, another big thing I see on Facebook Marketplace all the time, which I extremely, extremely encourage, please do not do, is do not price it for $1. Like, don't price your product for $1 and then put the real price in the description, because this invites the wrong people, right? The people who see $1, right? They think, oh, this is a cheap price or whatever, right? You're inviting the wrong people into your ecosystem, and those are the kind of people you do not want, right? You're selling high quality handmade products. They don't care. If you price yourself so cheap and say it's $1, those are the people who are going to be attracted to you and who are going to message you, because they're going to be like, oh, well, you said it's $1 or whatever, like, just avoid it. Put your real price in there. Whatever you're charging for it, put your real price in there, because it matters. This just invites the wrong idea. You're going to get too many messages. It's going to be extremely frustrating. It's not going to be fun. So do your market research in the area, right? Take some time, whatever product you're selling, do your research on it. Everywhere's different, right? Around where I'm from, like, cutting boards sell from like $100 to $200, and then there's one or two people who sell them for like $400, $500, but they're very professional about it. And if you are very professional about it and you structure everything properly and you provide them with enough information, you have great product photos, your product is fantastic, you can do that. But to start off, do market research, see what other people are selling it for, stick to around there, and then as you sell, later increase. And the better you get at the images, the product description, when it's all done properly, you can then charge more, which is awesome. And then you can really step your game up and increase your profit margins. So, payments, right? There's a lot of different ways to do this. If you're meeting in person, let them know it's cash only, or whether you take Venmo, Cash App, you can Stripe them an invoice. Stripe's a very simple platform. I think Matt mentioned Square previously. Square is another option. I use Stripe sometimes, but mostly if I'm doing like Facebook Marketplace exchanges, I do cash only, or Cash App or Venmo, Zelle, something like that. But do not take checks. Just don't do it. It's not worth the risk. 10 out of 10, do not recommend. Too many chances, checks can bounce, and too much going on. So, posting. When you post matters. Okay? I'd recommend posting on evenings and weekends. And that is when, in my head, what I believe when most people use Facebook, right? If you post it at 8 a.m., right? Most people are at work, right? Think about when most people use Facebook, and right before they're about to go on Facebook, that's when you post it, right? Because then you get a quick organic boost when it's new, right? So if most people get out of work at like 5 o'clock, if you stick to the 9 to 5 schedule, right? Most people get out at 5, upload it at 5 or upload it at 4, right? Put it up right at that time, and that's the best time to post it. And weekends. I've sold so many things posting on weekends. I'd upload it on a Saturday morning, and because most people are off Saturday, and I don't know, people just jump on Facebook and they see it, they love it, they message me about it, quick sale later that day or the next day, Keep it simple. Post on evenings, weekends, stick to that, right? And another big thing is posting it again, right? I talked about testing. Post it again. Like, if it's not getting traction, do it again, change some things, take a new photo, change the title, change the description, test things out. Like, and that is this whole Facebook Marketplace is all one big testing, trial and error, because you're going to throw something up and you're going to be like, what the heck, this didn't work. Try something different, take a new photo, take a better photo, it's going to take time. And when you do find that one image, or the one image with title combination, and you will narrow it down because some things are going to perform better than others, keep doing it, right? Do it again. right? If you upload something and you're getting great traction, and then the traction disappears, delete it and re-upload it, right? You don't have to upload something once and it's going to regenerate forever, like Etsy, for example. But Facebook Marketplace, you're going to have to upload it again and again and again and again and again. Like, if you want, upload something, every Saturday, right? And then re-upload it every Saturday, because every time you upload something new, it gives it a quick little boost. So just take that into consideration. You're always testing, keep trying. It's going to click. One of these times, it's going to click. And then when you do find it, keep doing it. So, communication. This is big, because this dives into branding. This dives into, just the overall customer experience when people work with you. Now, the biggest thing is be patient, because like I mentioned, people on Facebook are very casual. People will ghost you. They will say, hey, is this available, and never respond. People will, get all into it and say, oh, let's meet this day, and then they don't show up, or whatever the case scenario is. People will ghost you, and people will lowball you. They will disrespect you, and they do not care, and it's very unfortunate that that's the way some people are, but it is. So the most important thing is to stay professional. This is your brand, right? Every interaction and communication you have is your brand, right? You are building that customer experience with them, and then when they go through that sale and that purchase, they're going to remember that experience, and that is that image that they create in their head of what you are and what your company is. Another thing is, they are not woodworkers. I mentioned this before. They are not woodworkers. They do not understand, right? So you don't overcomplicate the situation or the conversation, if you will. Like, if someone says, hey, I want to buy this table, right? Don't convince them with reasons why they need it, because they just told you they wanted to buy it, right? Like, you don't have to keep selling yourself if they're already interested. I'll dive into that in a little bit, but keep that in mind. What I like to do is, if I'm selling a product frequently, you'll start to figure out what common questions are asked, and you can just save common answers in your notes. This will save you time, because people are going to ask you a bunch of things, and for you to just copy and paste things from your notes to the messenger, it's very easy to do that. It just saves some time. So definitely think about doing that. And now that I'm on the lines of that, when people keep asking you the same question, eventually throw it into your description so that they don't have to ask the question. Because like I mentioned, the less friction that they have from hey, I want to buy this product, to okay, sold, the less friction that they have, the more they're going to buy it, right? It needs to be super simple and easy. Always assume the sale, right? Anytime someone contacts you, assume that they are ready to buy it, no matter what it is, right? If you're doing custom work, okay, and they want a table, right? And they want a maple farmhouse table, whatever the case scenario is, and they say, I want it this size, right? Don't question them, right? Don't question it too much. Just, okay, yes, we're going through. Assume they know their thing and they're ready to buy, right? You don't need to educate them more on why they need to buy it from you, right? If they're coming to you, they already want you to build it, right? They took the time to message you about it, and they already want to buy it. So don't try and sell them again, because this creates too much friction, right? The quicker you can get them to buy, the easier it will be, right? Just like I mentioned, the less friction, that's the goal. Another thing is message back as soon as possible. The sooner you answer, the better the chances are that they are going to buy from you, because I'm sure they're messaging more than one person, and the person who answers first and the person who's the nicest and makes it a seamless transaction, that's who they're going to go with, right? I always answer, is this available? It is annoying, because so many people, there's a button on Marketplace where you hit it and it's an accident. Sometimes people just say, is this available? And then you say, yeah, it is available, and then they don't answer, which is, it sucks. It's degrading, not very good. But I always answer that because sometimes I've gotten sales from that. Some people, that's just how they operate. They always say, hey, is this available? You say yeah, and then you carry on. But most of the time, they won't answer. I recommend answering those. If you don't want to do it, specify it and say, I will not answer to, is this available? But I kind of don't like that because it puts off almost a negative look in the customer's eyes. It's like, oh, this guy's kind of this way or that way. So if you want to specify it, do it. And yes, some people don't read, so you still will get that message. So that's why I just recommend answering it all the time, right? Just answer it. That's my 2 cents, right? Another thing, people send you a message, right? Hey, I'm interested in this, and they want to know, they have a certain question about it. Send a video of you explaining your answer. Instead of typing and being a keyboard warrior, send a video of yourself to them. Just pick your phone up, and just send, hey Cheryl, I got your question. This is, these are the specifics of this. This is how big it is, or this is whatever question they have, that will set you so far apart. They're going to be like, wow, this guy took the time out of his day to make a video for me in that way. Like that is so cool. And they feel like they have a little bit more of a personal connection with you rather than some random scary internet person. They feel a little more comfortable doing the sale, if that makes sense. It adds a big personal touch, and I'd highly recommend it because people really appreciate that, and that looks really good on your brand as well. So another thing, after you get the sale, okay, get their contact information, phone number, easier to contact, right? This can always lead to more sales later, right? You sell them a cutting board. Hey, I actually just made this table. Are you interested in this? Or I just made these new sets of charcuterie boards. They're really cool. Are you interested in this? You can always reach out later, right? When you make new products. It makes things really easy and a potential revenue stream for you. And you can always reach out to them. And then they have your number as well. So when friends and family come over and, they see whatever product it is that you made for them, they can refer them your phone number. That just makes it easier, just it keeps that personal touch. It allows for new opportunities. So anytime you're getting the sale, get their phone number and contact them that way. It makes it a lot easier. Also, while people are messaging you, if it seems really sketchy, it probably is. Follow your gut. Your gut knows best. Just keep that in mind. So, product delivery. There's a few different ways to do this. Public meetups, for all things like meeting in person, they're depending on your comfort level with, meeting people over the internet. I know Matt mentioned when he sold things, they would come to his house and he'd already have it staged. And that is awesome if you're comfortable with that. If you're not, I would recommend meeting up in a high traffic area, like a Walmart, a grocery store, Target. I know some police stations are comfortable with people going in and doing like Facebook Marketplace exchanges like in the parking lot, right? Any big box store, somewhere populated, go there, right? If you're comfortable with it, like I mentioned, Matt mentioned staging in your house. It's your call. Use your own discretion, whatever you're comfortable with. Now, if you're delivering at their house, right? For big items, charge a delivery fee, right? If you're gonna put in, a giant table and you have to construct it in house and do a whole delivering thing, charge a delivery fee. Like that's okay, or just include it in your price. Like, and at the same time, right? You are going there and meeting with this person, right? They're so excited. You just made them a table, right? They're so excited to get their custom handmade table. They paid a bunch of money for it. They're excited. You are representing your brand when you go in there. Be friendly. Be excited, right? Take photos. And you can use that for, your own portfolio, right? It's exciting. People are very excited. Be excited to meet them, be their friend. It's It adds a personal touch, and it will get you more orders in the back end, and you're building a solid foundation of the brand that you're in for longevity, which is so important, right? So shipping, if you choose to do this, think about charging shipping or incorporate it into the price. It kind of depends on how you want to go about it. I would recommend doing free shipping because that kind of rings people's head. They're like, oh, it's free shipping, you know? So I would just charge the extra $20 on your product pricing and then have shipping there, right? Instead of saying, oh, it's $200 and then $17.99 shipping fee, right? Just charge $220. It just makes it easier. Mention what carrier you're going to use, right? Before you even sell it, right? So, we're shipping to, Nebraska. I don't know. Say you're going to use USPS. Say you're going to use FedEx. Say you're going to use UPS. Whatever it's going to be, just mention what it's going to be. It just makes it a lot easier for them, and it makes them not have to question it, and they won't get scared about whether they're going to get gypped or not, And remember, packaging matters. Make sure it doesn't break in transit. Remember, the branding bonus module, that was a couple modules ago. Matt talked about packaging and, logos on packaging and certain little tips and nitbits in there. Remember those things. If you don't have, a lot of budget to do that kind of thing, just don't worry about it at first anyways. And then eventually you can get into that as time comes. So overall, your first photo is your main photo, is the most important part of the entire thing, right? This is all testing. Keep trying new things. Find what works, then do it again, right? It's that simple. Photo, keywords, keep testing, right? You will get there as time goes on. This takes time. It's one big testing game, so keep that into consideration. Don't get discouraged if your post isn't getting views. Just take new photos, try new things, try it out. One of these days it's all going to click and it's going to work. It's one big testing game. So keep that in mind. Now, we're at the point where I'm going to go in and dive into uploading a product on Facebook. So if you've never done this before, I'm going to show you step by step, make it super easy for you. If you have done that before, you could skip past this because you already know how to do it. If not, you can refresh your brain, that kind of thing. Okay, so now we're on Facebook. If you come home here, right, and then you go to, there's this Marketplace tab up here or on the side over here. Just click that, and then as you can see, you can search Marketplace, etc. So you come down here and go to Create New Listing, and then you choose your listing item site. By the way, this all works for mobile as well. It's the same thing on mobile. So item for sale. For testing, I'm going to use one of my cutting boards that I have. So I'm just going to throw that up there just for a test. I already actually have a description and title already put out, so it's going to make it super easy. Now, for photos, remember your first photo is the most important, right? So I'm going to upload my photos here just for a little example. Okay, right? So these aren't fantastic photos, okay? I didn't take these photos to sell them. I just took them for my family, right? Just to show them because they already bought them. So don't take these product photos into consideration. Do what Matt said. That's going to work better for you than this, right? So in my situation, I'm going to say this is my best photo right here. You can move these around. You can toss them left and right, whatever you want to do. But in my scenario, I'm going to do this photo first. And then this is a nice fine detail photo. It previews here on the right, fine detail, just getting the gist. Okay. And then you have your title down here. So actually I already have some written out. So we're just going to do this, right? Handcrafted live edge charcuterie cutting board walnut, right? Utilizing my keywords there. We're going to price it. We're going to say $200. And then category, I'm just going to put cutting boards. You don't want to go too crazy with that. I would just, as broad and simple as you possibly can. So condition, new, obviously. Description, I have a description here, a little bit stolen from the other guy, but utilizing what tools we have at our disposal. If it isn't broke, don't fix it. But make sure to change this up. I did just copy and paste this for the video, and then I just made this a little different. This is just for video sakes, so don't copy and paste people's stuff. I'm not actually going to upload this. I'm not actually going to sell it. Don't do that. Don't copy and paste people's things. People don't like that. But you can take ideas from other people, but definitely don't copy and paste. Not a good idea. So now I can see what I'm looking at here. My material, I'm going to bag that. I'm just going to skip it, type. I mean, I can put something here if I want, but I'm just going to bag it. I'm going to let the search optimization do its thing. I don't want to go too specific here because it'll steer away from other searches, right? If I go too specific in here, right, and I put, cutting board, right, and there's too many cutting board things, and then people search up charcuterie board, this is gonna rank more in the cutting board area than the charcuterie area, if you know what I mean. So I normally like to keep this pretty simple. Color, I bag it. Let the search engine do its thing. I guess now that I click this, I have to put something, but I would bag it. Next, all this I can just leave blank from this, and now I'm going to go next. Now you're going to decide how you're going to deliver it, right? Whether you're going to ship it or public meetup, whatever that case scenario is. So have your location here. Delivery method, local pickup, you just hit local pickup, and that's the only option. They can't buy it and you ship it to them. It's not possible. But shipping, you can go there. Shipping or local pickup is, shipping and local pickup. So now it's either or. If someone's in your area, they can pick it up from you. If they're not, it'll get dispersed into a bigger group of people where they can get the item shipped to them. So, and then in here, they say you can use a prepaid label. I normally don't because then you need like a printer, like a specific printer. So I just use my own shipping label always. You can set your shipping rate if you wanted a hard $20 or if you want it for free, you can go free. And then, when you go and take it to the post office and ship it, you create the label there and do the whole thing. And then you would have to pay for shipping costs. So keep that in mind if you do free shipping. So I'm going to update that. And then I'm going to go next. Allow offers. I'm going to say no because, like I mentioned, I wouldn't recommend it. But if you want to, you can have people offer. And then next, and then you choose where you want to lift it. So marketplace you want checked, and then if you're in any groups, which I would recommend doing that. If there's groups around you where people are like homie groups or neighborhood groups or things like that, if you're in them, post it up there. Why not? Throw it in some of those groups and then hit publish. And then you're done. That's pretty much it. If anyone has any questions, feel free, reach out to me. I'm an open book completely. So any questions, feel free, shoot me a DM or shoot a question into the questions tab. I will get back to you as soon as possible. And I'm excited. I want to see you guys uploading. I want to see what you guys got going on. I'll review it for you. Just upload it. Let the people know. Let us know. I'm excited to see what you guys are selling. I'm excited to see you guys make your first sales and sell things consistently. I'm very excited to see that. So like I mentioned, any questions, reach out, and I'll see you guys in the next one.